I think it's fair to say that whenever you step forward into something, an opportunity, make a decision, take a choice, etc., whatever you believe was going to occur is unlikely to be exactly what occurs. Fair comment. Whenever you join something, maybe like something like Project Truth About Money, something occurs that maybe you didn't expect it. Well, that's exactly the same with Rich Dad. All right, so I read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, if not 10 years ago, then 15. And of course, I thought it was extraordinary. But I've got a new way to define people who've read Rich Dad. And that is those who have read it and those who've read it. So I only just read it. But some people have actually read it. What do I mean by that? If you meet somebody who says, yeah, I've read Rich Dad, and sounds like they're quite an authority on it, which I got to say I used to pretend I was, and they are not financially free, then they've not rich. They have neither read Rich Dad nor are they a Rich Dad thinker. They couldn't have possibly read it properly, and they couldn't be a Rich Dad thinker. I had not read it properly, and I certainly was not a Rich Dad thinker. So from now on, ask yourself this: if you've read it, if you haven't, please read it and become a Rich Dad thinker. But if you have read it, and you're not financially free, then please go back and read it. Makes sense? So I'm not going to let it out of my grasp now. In fact, not just that. The other books that he has, his wife has. The second book he's just written that is kind of the follow-on from Rich Dad, which is just extraordinary about where we are on the planet. So, as I said, when you step forward into an opportunity or you do something new for a change, you never quite know the outcome. So I've done a lot of videos with these in. I'm about to cover up my face, I think. Oh, let's try not to. So I never quite know when I pour into the ingredients pot, everything I'm going to do, and then mix it up, how these things are going to work out, for sure. And I don't mind, because sometimes I actually have to eat them with a spoon. So think about this, okay? Sometimes you go into something in life and you expect it to sip it, but you have to eat it with a spoon. Now, not only do I eat it, I can sip this one. Oh, that is sharp. Okay, a lot of red currants in that one. I also get a shake moustache with it. So no matter what it is that you move forward into, there's going to be an outcome that might not exactly replicate what was in your head, right? And then, of course, it's down to you to decide whether the outcome is what you want and go further into it, or not at all, you move away, or you try and redesign it, whatever it might be. So Hannah and I got very involved with Rich Dad. Rich Dad Coaching saw everything that was going on with Project Truth About Money. I was being pretty vocal about it, and I got pitched by them. So we went into the Rich Dad Coaching program with a view to becoming Rich Dad coaches. I am not embarrassed to tell you that pitch cost me money to go into the Rich Dad Coaching. It is CPM, Continuous Professional Development. I think that's CPD. But hey, there you go. I'm going to take this video only once, so whatever I get wrong, I'm not even blooping out. We went into the Rich Dad Coaching, and in the last 6 to 7 weeks, our mindset has shifted so far from the alternative, pretty funky thinkers that we were already to off the scale. So let's just reiterate or go over a couple of things that Rich Dad is all about. FF. What does that stand for? It stands for financial freedom. What is Robert Kiyosaki's definition of financial freedom? Quite simply, passive income, income that you can literally depend on, whether you are for 12 months of the year on a desert island. Passive income pays all of your expenses. So your expenses are covered by your passive income. That's, in his eyes, financial freedom. That's not passive income on a whim and a prayer, for example, the income you might expect from your premium bonds every month, because believe me, that is a wing and a prayer. Passive income equals financial freedom if it's there, no matter what, every month, covering your expenses. Okay, so that means you get RR. So it's become a bit of a cliche. In fact, the special, aka the specials, one of my favorite 1980s groups, covered it a lot. The rat race. So we've been talking about the rat race for a lot of decades. Basically, FF gets you out of RR. Now, it's really interesting for me because I was never in the rat race in my head because everything I've done for 25 years has been so alternative. But because I wasn't FF, I actually was still in RR. In the rat race. The only way to actually get RR is to get FF via K, the knowledge. Now, Rich Dad Education is all about education, but it's not traditional education. So one thing he talks about constantly is that our education system, no matter where you are, okay, no matter where you're in the westernized world, for want of a better word, is broken because they teach you stuff you don't actually need. So knowledge is what we've gained on top of everything we'd done before, personal development, seeking the truth about everything, my 15-year quest of seeking the truth about money. Knowledge has been extraordinary. And this last 3 days in our property investment, Rich Dad Elite Wealth Training, our knowledge went through the roof. It had to come with also a widening and open mind. The parachute effect, obviously. Mind and parachute work the best when they're fully open, correct? Okay, I know a lot of you think I'm a pretty free thinker and my mind is wide open, but I'm telling you now, Christopher James Pomfret's mind went so wide this weekend. Even I was challenged to go like this. Do you know what? The best compliment I can give Sean, who took the course, was that I sat still for 3 days. These were 8 till 8 p.m. days. 3 days I sat still. I owed him that respect because the knowledge that was coming from the stage where he walked and told stories and made everything tangible that was 3 whole days. Extraordinary. Okay, so my knowledge expanded along with Anna's and Hannah's because we were all there, the 3 of us, as a PT. I'm coming to what a PT is in a minute. Anyway, I digress. Get back to my list. A and L. Robert Kiyosaki teaches constantly about the difference between the A and L. So A versus L. Right. Assets and liabilities. This is very simple. Okay. And this is why most people don't understand the point that their home is not their greatest asset. I'll come to why it definitely isn't in a second. But on the basic, simple training of Robert Kiyosaki is that an asset is something that puts money in your pocket. A liability is something that takes it out. Unless you've structured your own home in a way that the money coming into it every month is more than goes out of your pocket, it's not an asset. It's certainly not going to be your greatest asset. It can't possibly be your greatest asset, and I'll come to why in a second. So it's not an asset. It's a liability. So 99% of the planet believes that owning a property is going to be their greatest asset and it will be their pension forever, etc. It's a liability. How could a pension possibly come from a liability? So why is it not your greatest asset? Well, think about this. Unless you actually generate a home situation that is so many millions beyond the normal amount of money of what a house is today, and so you're so far ahead of the game, how could the asset, even if you realise a load of cash from it and retire from the cash and downsize to a one-bed flat, how could that asset ever realise you the life that you want to live from in retirement? Because, of course, everyone I'm speaking to wants a retirement. I mean, I've retired already, so I'm 49. But here's the point. Whenever you get to retirement, everybody I know this video is speaking to wants a retirement where they are not going to be living off 40% of the income they couldn't live off until before they got there. Correct? Right. Okay. So asset, liability, your own home, never. Right. I'm on the move. Grandpa is on the move. So there are lots of key points that Robert Kiyosaki teaches through Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I just want to cover 3 because one in particular has become so completely blatant to us in the last few weeks and in particular last week or so, and completely nailed it this weekend. So time, rich people think with time differently, okay? They leverage time. They use other people's time. They basically, Warren Buffett is a classic. Unless you are earning more money in your sleep, okay, than in your day, right, you will never be wealthy. In your normal working day, that is. You will never be truly wealthy. So if you go out and work a 9 to 5, go home and sleep at night and not earning overnight, you will never be wealthy. It's not true wealthy, okay? So time is critical. You have to find a way to leverage time and create income 24/7. OPM, Other people's money. Rich people do not build their wealth with their own money, by using their own money. They use other people's money, usually institutions' money, obviously. But basically, they get wealthier not by reinvesting or recycling whatever it is they do with their own money. It's by use, constant, rapid, speed use of other people's money. Excuse me. While you think about that, I needed some very sharp red currant, coordinated raspberry, I don't know what else is there, banana, 27 fruits, vegetables, phytonutrients, all the things that keep me going at this pace every single day. So the two top ones are really, really about leverage, which brings me to team. The Rich Dad coaching has taught Hannah and I week by week that unless we build a power team, unless we lead rather a power team, because it still needs a leader, but a team of people who know much better than you certain skills that you want. In other words, work your strengths, hire your weaknesses. That's a philosophy out of Think and Grow Rich from 100 years ago. Work your strengths, okay, hire your weaknesses. So you build a team of people who are better than you at certain disciplines and you lead that team. Okay, the team is critical. Power team. Over the weekend, Hannah and I witnessed the most extraordinary things. It was the Rich Dad Property Investment Course, Elite Wealth Management, I call it. Did you know that you could buy a property as large as the Millennium Dome, let's say, for example, for a nominal fee, like, for example, £1, because of the issues that building had, and generate cash from it? So the only thing you had in the deal was £1. Did you know that you can replicate that and not only take somebody's problem away of a property they can no longer afford to be in, or can't get rid of, will need to be somewhere else, and take it off their hands for £1 with a no obligation need to purchase it from it several years later, and at the same time, and by the way, cash flow that, and at the same time move somebody in and solve their problem and generate cash flow for yourselves from that, and having the deal only £1. Now, of course, you can't do that. In fact, I can't do that. We would be dangerous if we tried to do that. But with the amount of knowledge that we gained over this weekend, we now understand how you do it and where you start. So, Project Truth About Money is all about uncovering, peeling back what the 1% know and refuse to tell us. So I've alluded in the past to precious metals, in particular gold. Robert Kiyosaki is buying gold like it's going out of fashion, and property. And he knows at some point there will be a massive world meltdown, and he knows that being in the 1%, he will make more money than when there's not a recession. He doesn't like that. It's a simple fact of life. So Project Truth About Money is not only uncovering the truth, but it's also lining people up with the knowledge so that they can move themselves forward into great decisions to protect themselves from any eventuality over the next 6 months, 12 months, 4 years, 5 years, 20 years, 30 years. By unthinking what you've thought before and replacing it with correct thinking. Now, Rich Dad is not the only person you can go to from this information, but if you meet somebody who's read Rich Dad and they are not financially free because they follow somebody else's ideas, then they haven't read Rich Dad. Do you understand what I'm saying? I had not read Rich Dad. I had just glimpsed it, if you like. So I've now read it. And whilst I already have, I found my way to a 6-figure income, which is fantastic. So on one level, I have a certain level. I certainly have time freedom. I have a certain level of financial freedom. I am not Rich Dad financially free, and I will be. Because why would I not follow that education that I'm buying? And why would I not further invest in that education? CPD, I'll get it right this time, right? Continuous Professional Development. All of the trained professionals on the planet have to do CPD as part of maintaining their license, etc. I do it by choice. We do it by choice. Hannah, Anna, and I have always done it by choice. Many of you watching this have done lots of it by choice. CPD. Every time you walk into a place of learning, your knowledge gets bigger. The people you meet become more extraordinary. And guess what? The outcome, sometimes you eat it with a spoon and you don't drink it. So I'm coming to a point, team. We are now on your team, if you choose to be. If you choose us to be, rather. I see 0 point in any of you investing in what I've invested in. Remember the Rich Dad Coaching, the investment course, the next property investment course that we are all going on. These have been large investments. I'm very lucky that I have it and we have the access to that money. Why? And I was on a course. Well, this was ironic. We were on a course of about 30 people, and it was pretty obvious that about 5 to 10 of us would probably use that knowledge. So they weren't wasting their money, other people, but they probably should now go and find a team to be part of, because I know they won't do this on their own, because it's not luck. People don't become property investors and wealthy by luck. They get there by lining up the ducks and doing the hard work and the due diligence. I hate those words, but the due diligence. And by listening to the gurus, all right? But they get there because they have one of these. And there were probably only 5 to 10 people in that room out of 30 that were probably grasping the point that they had to go and build, find, be part of, attach themselves to a power team. The 3 of us already were a power team, and people were coming us into the room to want to be part of that power team. That was phenomenal, very exciting. I open this out to every single person to say, okay, you are welcome to become part of a team. All right, we are going to build a team of advisors. All right, we're going to lead and build a team of advisors who come with us, who know so much about everything. We've already got access to a whole bunch of them who already do exactly what we're trying to achieve. They just need new students. So whilst we're going to lead this team, we're going to be their students, and we are looking for everybody who would like to attach themselves as pseudo students through us. Okay, I ask no money towards my education, because it's my education. All right, I am not charging anybody for my education. Moving forward, I cannot give this away. That would be disrespectful to the course, disrespectful to everybody else who's been through the education and paid it. But I'm also not going to start invoicing people for the education. So it's going to be as part of a committed team moving forward. And for those people who want to commit, move forward and find out what it's all about, I have an offer. I have a great offer. I'm on my feet again. Grandpa's moving. I'm going to do my steps. Got to do my steps. Got to do my steps. There it is. Sunday, June the 26th. Yes, it'll be at 2 p.m. Yes, it'll be in the Midlands, most likely just north of Birmingham. I'll confirm it nearer the time. It has to be in the middle of the country. I have to give everybody the chance of travelling that Sunday morning, whether it's 2, well, probably actually only 30 minutes, 1, 2 hours, 3, 4, even 5 hours travelling, maybe 6, I don't know, maybe 7. You can't drive 7 hours surely and get there. You'd surely fly a bit and drive there. I am giving everybody the opportunity to get somewhere on a Sunday by 2 p.m. How you get home 3 hours later, because it's going to run till 5 for sure, is another question. But I give everybody the chance to get there on a day they get there. It's not Father's Day. Yes, I know it fits in with my diary. It might not fit in with yours, but there you go. I am one of 3 people leading this team, right? I have to be there. I haven't even told the other 2 that it's on, by the way, but they're going to love it. So I already have 3 experts on that stage. 3 experts who know all about 2 pages back, Rich Dad Education. I have 3 experts. I will quite likely have 6 experts on that stage. One of them will be talking about
wealth through gold. 1, wealth through property, and discussing exactly what I just said about the £1 okay? One of them will be talking about wealth through knowledge. One will be talking about wealth through rainbows. One will be talking about wealth through how you look after every single penny in your life. And the other will be talking about wealth through transforming what goes in your mouth. And
what powers your day. 6 extraordinary experts will be on that stage. They will be part of the power team. You are very, very welcome to become part of a Project Truth About team moving forward with commitment, where you will be able to pick up information and plug the bits that you want, choose the bits that you want, and throw them into your mix. So that when you're sitting back in your retirement because of your FF, because you got out of the RR via your K, because you understood what A versus L was, you'll look back and you'll go, God, I love PTAM. Project Truth About Money. It's a beautiful bank holiday. It's as dull as shit, actually. But it is a beautiful bank holiday. I can't believe I just said that and I said I'd not do the bloopers. Okay. It's a beautiful bank holiday because up there above the dullness, the sun is shining. And if you walk around with my sunshine thinking attitude, the sun's always shining. You only have to get on a plane and within whatever it is, 3, 4, 5 minutes, have done the bump, 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 bump up through the clouds to see just how beautiful it is every single day of the year up there. The blue skies, the sunshine. And do you know what? Those clouds look so much more beautiful from the other side, don't they? That's my last point. I get to it by a random, bizarre way. Nearly 2 years ago, nearly 2 years ago, let's say, having been inspired by both Hannah and Anna, nearly 2 years ago, because of what they achieve in their extraordinary, and I mean extraordinary businesses that they are building, and because of who they are as human beings with their integrity and their desire to help other people. And as Zig Ziglar said, you can get everything you want in life. You just need to help enough other people get what they want. I'm getting to the point still. We're 21 minutes in. Well done for getting this far. This is my final point. 2 years ago, I find myself on a plane flying home from an extraordinary weekend where I'd seen powerhouse of people, men and women, walk across a stage for 3-4 days. And Hannah and I had just had the most extraordinary experience in Orlando, listening to thought leaders with lives they lived by design. And I just knew that I needed to tap in. I wasn't jealous in any single way. I've never been jealous of anybody else's life. I only want my life. I love my life. No jealousy required. What I was inspired to go and do the same. We flew home in a very nice seat, actually, 1 row this side of the curtain on Virgin. So there were lots of lovely red clad females rushing around, whizzing in and out of that curtain. But there was a problem for me. And that was I was so close yet so far. And the curtain would come back and then it would close. And then it would come back and then it would close. And I'd see the lifestyle. And I've been in business class before, but I've not lived a life of business class or first class before. I do now, and I will every day of my life, because I wrote a goal. I wrote a goal, sat this side of the curtain. And my goal was quite simply this. And I invite you to join me on this journey. Doesn't matter if you've got the faintest idea what I'm talking about. I'm inviting you to journey forward with me, step by step. Every journey starts that way. Every great philosopher said, simply begin, because magic comes from the beginning. Remember, sometimes you eat it with a spoon. Sometimes you just sip it. But I invite you to come on the journey to live your life the way I'm going to live mine. From this moment forward, I live my life the other side of the curtain. Have a fabulous bank holiday.